Good evening, students. This is Deekam Pathak from Freebirds Experiences. I welcome you all to day 4 of this wonderful series, namely Fun with NCERT. We'd like to start our session by expressing our gratitude to the Government of Meghalaya and of course Innovation Hub, Sulong Science Center for making these sessions free for students. The aim of these activity-based workshops are to ignite the love for science and technology in students and to recommend the textbook as published by the NCERT. Now, without taking much time, let me hand over this session to Ms. Agracia for the introduction ceremony.
Good evening, everyone present here. I would like to welcome each and every one of you. Sir Rupesh again, Nazia, who's a student, Sir Banjab, who's always been helping me with all these things. Without much further ado, I would, hand over the session to Sir Rupesh so that we can, start and learn the interesting things about physics and chemistry today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for introducing me. Welcome, student. Welcome all board. Here we are actually organizing few sessions that is fun with NCERT, and we are doing a lot of fun like activities related to science, so that it's easy for you to understand certain concepts. So for today's topic, we begin with it's a topic from your NCERT textbook itself, combustion and flame. So let's get started with the today's topic. So in the introduction, we'll have some basic idea regarding what is combustion, what is fire, how these things are actually working. Then we'll do some sort of activities. Okay. So before going into much greater details, we have to understand few basic concepts. What exactly is combustion? So on the right hand side, as we can see here, there is a picture of fire. Okay, so all of us, we know that this is a picture of a fire, and basically this fire in science we call it as a process of combustion. Now let us try to understand what exactly is combustion. So combustion has been defined by, it's basically a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to produce heat. Okay, so it's basically a chemical process in which a substance reacts with the oxygen and it produces some amount of heat. Okay, so in this case, what are the different substances we have? We have wood, and here in the open space we can have oxygen. So wood reacted with the oxygen and it produces heat. But can we say that all woods that is lying in open air, it catches fire, or there is a combustion process? No. If we are keeping wood in open area, in fact, if we are supplying oxygen or that open air, if it contains oxygen as well, it doesn't catches fire. The combustion will not start then and there itself. So there will be some sort of extra agent that will work on it, and it start the process of combustion. Fine. So this is basically the basic definition of combustion, and later we will come across how combustion actually start. So I'm not going to that particular point, that particular definition right now, how the combustion will start. So we are actually going one by one. Then sometimes light also produces during the combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. Sometimes we can see that the fire, while it is burning, it produces a lot of light as well. But in some cases, the product or the item may be burning, okay, but it does not glow that much. But even though we can call it as a process of combustion. And one more important point is that air is very much necessary in the process of combustion. Fine. So I am just keeping all this statement as it is and move forward to the next definition. We have in the next thing we have the combustible substances. The items which are actually, we can say those items are combustible. So substances which burns in air to produce heat and light are called as combustible substances. For example, we can say wood is a combustible substance, then coal is a combustible substance, then kerosene, all we know, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, CNG, compressed natural gas. So all these substances are combustible substances because they catches fire or they start burning when we keep in air and we basically light them. Then only it started the process of combustion. So my question that I want to put one question, that is air very much necessary for combustion? The question is air very much necessary for the combustion? So we will understand this concept by doing one activity. So let's get started with the activity. Fine. So in this activity, what are the items we can have? What are the items we require? We require one small glass, small candle. The glass should be a transparent one, preferably, and some small size blocks, maybe matchbox or something. Okay, so I'm just stopping my presentation here and I'm just shifting my toward my activity area, that we will start the session once again. Just a second.
All students are please requested to stay still, as I think there's some network connectivity issue with Sir's camera, so he'll be rejoining again. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, my network. I was having a power outage in my area, so
Sure.
recently got connected.
No worries, yeah, sure.
Okay. So in the first experiment, as I said, we require one small candle, okay, one transparent glass, and two blocks, preferably matchbox or something. Okay. So what I will do first, I will light this candle up. I will light this candle and place this. Okay. So what happened? We have this candle. Okay. We light the matchstick and place it on the candle and it start glowing. Fine. Now, what we will do, we will check whether air is at all necessary for burning this candle or not. Okay, my question was whether air is necessary for the burning of the candle or for the combustion of this particular candle or not. So first what we will do, we will place this matchstick like that in such a way that there are some space, and we will place this glass on top of it so that some air can go inside. Fine. Now can you observe the flame got slowly vanished. Okay. The flame got slowly diminished and finally the flame got off. Let me show you once again. In normal case, the candle is burning, but when I am placing this particular glass on top of this particular candle, the flame goes slowly off and finally it got off. Okay. Now what we will do, we will try with some sort of other thing. We will keep this glass directly without giving any space. Yeah. Here also the same thing happened. It got off. As compared to the previous one, it got off very quickly because we haven't provided any space for the air to get inside. Okay, so let me give you what is the theory behind this one. So based on the experiment, we have proved that air is very much necessary because when anything is burning, we need to supply some sort of oxygen to that particular substance in order to burn. As we have read in our first definition that combustion is a process, chemical process which requires substance and the oxygen. So if we are cutting off the supply of air, fine. If we are cutting off the supply of air which contains oxygen as well, so definitely the fire will set off. Fine. So that is why when we are keeping the glass on top of the burning candle, it sets off. Now you might ask me a question while placing the candles, while placing the glass on top of that two particular block. Why? Because there are some spaces also from which the air can go inside, but still it sets off. What is the theory behind? Because when candle is burning, so air inside that particular glass, it is having oxygen. So when it was burning, so oxygen get diminished and converted into a carbon dioxide on the top portion of the glass. Fine. But there is no force of air that will be going from the downward portion to the top portion where actually flame requires the oxygen. So inside the glass, even if we are putting those small blocks, the air inside the glass, while the flame is there, the oxygen concentration is getting less, is getting lower and lower every moment. So slowly and slowly it sets off. Fine. So that is why even if we are putting the blocks, and then if we are putting the glass, even if there were some spaces so that air can go inside, but actually there is no force of air which can push the oxygen from the downward portion of your glass. And as the concentration of carbon dioxide in the glass increases, it finally starts setting off. So that is the actual phenomena, science behind why the like burning candle is getting sets off during inside that particular glass. Fine. So this is the first activity we did. Now we are going to like understand about some conditions that are actually necessary for combustion. So what are the conditions maybe? So I have divided that particular thing into two different boxes. So first we will learn regarding the requirement of the combustion process or the fire process. And then we will try to understand about how to control fire or combustion. Fine. So in the requirement, we can see the first requirement is fuel we say. So fuel can be anything. It can be in the form of wood. It can be in the form of coal. It can be in the form of petroleum, like petrol, diesel, LPG gas, CNG gas. It can be in the form of paper. It can be in the form of plastic bottle or anything. Anything that can catch fire, or we can say anything that is a combustible substance which actually catches fire. It can be considered as fuel in the process of combustion. Fine. So did we understood the concept of fuel? So in order and in fact inside the like engine of our vehicle, whether it is a car, whether it is a motorcycle, scooter, anything, if it is a like petroleum engine, so inside that engine also we are actually having some sort of combustion. So in that, what kind of fuel we are supplying? We are supplying petrol or diesel or LPG or CNG. So those are fuel. Then the second important thing for the combustion process to happen is air. That is, the air contains supply of oxygen, as we have seen recently in our first activity, because we need to supply a constant like supply of the oxygen to that particular substance. If we cut that supply of air, or in other words, if we cut the supply of oxygen, the fire will stop. Fine. So this is our second requirement. First requirement is fuel, second requirement is air, and third requirement is heat. Fine. So what is heat? This is another one more important concept that we are going to learn is ignition temperature. So it is basically a amount of temperature that a substance need to attain in order to catch fire. That we will be going into more detail after doing our second activity. Fine. So these are the three requirements which are very much necessary for the combustion process to happen. Fine. If any of this activity, if any of this particular requirement condition doesn't satisfy, we can say combustion will not happen. Fine. If any of this particular thing doesn't occur, then combustion will not happen or fire will not happen. Fine. So this is about the requirement. Now let's go to the concept how to control combustion or how to stop combustion or how to stop fire. So fire can be controlled by removing any one of these conditions. if we can cut off any one or more of all this requirement, we can stop the fire. Fine. So if there is a constant supply of fuel, if we can stop the supply of fuel in the process of your burning fire, we can stop the process of combustion. Fine. If we are supplying oxygen, if air is there, if we stop that particular the supply of air, basically the supply of oxygen, it will stop the process of combustion. And if we can maintain a temperature, the environment, the temperature which is below the ignition temperature, below that particular heat, then also we can have the fire control, or we can stop the fire. Okay, so if we cut any one or more of all this requirement, we can stop the fire. The second thing, by using some sort of fire extinguisher. The commonly used fire extinguisher is water. So whenever we see, like whenever any small thing which catches fire, so what is the first thing we usually do? We put some water, or we pour some water on that particular heating or fire object. Fine. So that is the first thing that we can do, like we can apply water in order to get off the fire. The second thing that we can use is carbon dioxide. So have you ever seen any fire extinguisher, like fire extinguisher cylinder that might be like available in hospitals, then maybe in your schools? So what that particular fire extinguisher cylinder contains? It is actually containing some chemicals along with more of its substance. The important element that is have is carbon dioxide. So when you open that fire extinguisher and pointing it toward the fire, so it is actually forcing carbon dioxide towards the fire. And by doing that, we are actually cutting the oxygen supply and giving carbon dioxide directly to the fire, which helps you to stop the fire. So this is how we can control the process of combustion. Fine. Now let's move to the next activity. So in this activity, what are the requirements we have? We require one candle that we already had, paper cups. I have cut some paper cup in certain like shape, as you can see in the picture on the right hand side, matchbox, a glass of water. Fine. Then we will start doing this particular experiment or activity. So I will shift toward my activity area. Yes, we can start the second activity. In the second activity, what we need one small candle. We need to have this kind of paper cups. What you can do, you can make it in this form. You can cut in a circle. You can make this kind of cone with your hand. Okay. So we basically require two of this kind. So that's why I have created like this. And then we can start off our activity. So first let me set this candle. Okay. So this might get a little dangerous. So while doing this kind of activity, my suggestion is that you please have any one of your guardian available with you, so they can help you, they can support you, and they can enjoy along with you. Now, so this is a paper, we all know. So when we put this particular paper just on top of this burning candle, what will happen? So all of us, I guess we can have our common sense and we can say it catches fire, isn't it? So it caught fire very quickly. Okay. Now I am using similar kind of cone, and what I will do, I will put some water into it. Fine. And I will try to heat this one. What happened? This is also paper. Why this one is not setting? Why this one is not catching fire? Oh my God. What happened? Any magic? Anything I did? No. All of you can do the same thing. The same element, the paper, the fire is there, but just what I did, I poured some water in that particular paper. Now it got leaked and one drop is coming. So if you notice, by that time, the earlier paper, it caught fire. So what is the principle behind this? So let me shift to my presentation and I will tell about what's actually happening. So what's actually happening? So before revealing that particular magic in front of you, let us try to understand about what is ignition temperature. Your answer basically lies in this particular concept itself. So ignition temperature, as it's defined, it is the minimum temperature at which a substance catches fire and burns is called its ignition temperature. Okay. So what is the basic definition? It is the minimum temperature for any particular substance, and it differs from substance to substance. You have to remember this particular concept, that the ignition temperature for any particular item will be different from any other. So for example, for wood, the ignition temperature will be different. So for any petroleum product like petrol, diesel, so ignition temperature will be different. Fine. So what exactly is the ignition temperature? It is the minimum temperature at which a substance catch fire. So that is basically the ignition temperature. A substance will not catch fire and burn if its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. Fine. So this particular second statement is actually revealing the concept of the second activity we actually did. So when we did our first part of the experiment, that is when we actually had taken only the paper. So ignition temperature of the paper is very low because it was only paper. So it easily caught the fire. But when we have poured certain water, then the property of the entire object changes. Now it is paper along with some water, and finally the ignition temperature increases. So when we are actually applying heat or the flame directly on that particular cone of paper which contains water, and its ignition temperature actually increased from the previous one. So while keeping on the fire for some time also, it is not actually getting fire. Definitely, if you are keeping that particular item for a very long time, suppose 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then something will happen. But we can easily see in the difference, like the previous one caught fire within like 5 or 6 seconds. And the second one I have kept around 1 or 2 minutes, it doesn't catch fire. So that is the basic principle behind. The first one when I was using only the paper, its ignition temperature was low. And when we have the second one, the second item or the second part, we added water, its ignition temperature got increases, and finally it is not attaining, the fire does not attain that heat, that amount of heat, its ignition temperature. So that's why it's not like getting the fire easily. So this is about the ignition temperature. This is about how combustion is actually about. Then what are the requirements of the combustion process? What are the items that we can consider as a combustible substances? So this is all about that today's experiment. And one more point I have included, I have forgot to say that substance which have very low ignition temperature can easily catch fire with flame, and they are basically called as inflammable substance. So basically, when we travel through flight airways, so basically in the air baggages, we are not supposed to carry any inflammable substance. So what are those inflammable substance? It can be petrol, it can be alcohol. So all this substance can be inflammable because its ignition temperature is very low. Those things can easily caught fire. So for example, suppose if you try to light or try to like put the wood in the fire, you have to try a lot in order to set fire a particular wood. But if the same amount of or same quantity of, if you have a petrol, you can easily light it up with a very small matchstick. That's all you can do, because the ignition temperature of the petrol or alcohol or diesel is very low as compared to wood, and it requires lot of oxygen as well. Fine. So this is all about the process of combustion and flame. So we did all these activities. I recommend you also to do all these activities, preferably in association with your guardian, with your, like, it can be your mother, it can be your father, it can be your any elder brother or sister, anyone. Just make sure that whenever you are performing this kind of activities, you do it safely in the observation of any one of your guardian. And your NCERT book is actually having lots of this kind of activity, and you can do all these things like by going through your NCERT book. So thank you. I'm just winding up my session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Rupesh.
you so much, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Rupesh, for
Thank
the
you,
wonderful
sir.
session. Ms. Agresha, would you have something? Do you have something to say for the closure?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Please go forward.
Yeah. I think today's session was interesting. So if any of the students have any questions, you're free to ask, sir. Nazia?
In case you have anything to
No
ask.
questions. Thank you.
No questions, too. Thank you so much.
All right. So Banja, do you have anything to say?
As of now, actually, I just want to make a small statement that the session was actually very nice, and wherever you're tuning from, and if you do have any sort of questions related to the topic of combustion, you're welcome to reach us out to at our email or maybe our Facebook group. Like, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow or the after tomorrow. Whenever the case may be, kindly just send in your queries and we'll get back to you. And if needed be, towards the end of the session, maybe to the end of the next session or so, we will be able to discuss these programs. The problems or issues that you have. Just another thing, for the two participants, we are so glad to have you here. I know that more participants are watching us, and will be watching us, because the recorded session is available to kindly also share it with your friends. We are, this is just not even at the quarter of workshop that we're holding. So for more information, kindly reach out to us and we'll provide you with that. But for this session, I just want to thank Freebirds, and I also want to thank Rupesa for that wonderful session. So yeah, that's it. And I hope everybody will be joining us again tomorrow. So thank you again, Sir Rupesh, and thank you again, Freebirds.
Thank you all.
Okay. So I suppose, yeah, that's it for today. And again, if you have any queries or any questions at all, please feel free to contact us at Innovation Hub. Okay.